Then a hip hop album review. Revenge of the Dreamers 3, Dreamville and J.Cole. Before we get into the review, make sure you check out everything that in hip hop related, man. Like, we got Podcast Network, we got Patreon, we're on the front page of that. I think we're still gonna be on the front page of that while this comes out. But just make sure you support, man. Watching this video is support. Going on Patreon and supporting monthly is all support. You see where your dollar goes, you see what we're doing with it, you see the growth. Back to the review. Revenge of the Dreamers 3, Dreamville and J.Cole. I don't know when the first two came out, but I don't think their roster was obviously this expansive. And then I also wanted to ask about that too, because I think we know the primary Dreamvillers, right? Like J.I.D, Cozz, Boz. But then like Lute and Omen, like are those guys signed?
Yeah,
like
so,
Rose Baby.
And they're dope.
Yeah.
Lute is dope.
No, he
never heard of him till this shit.
Yeah, me
man, dude is dope as fuck.
Yeah, like obviously EarthGang, but like some of these other names, like okay, those two you guys confirmed, but Baby Rose, like is that part of?
And see, I watched the documentary. They released like a 20-30 minute documentary.
Yeah, I saw part of that
before. So I was like, let me watch this before I even dive into the album, just to kind of get, kind of get a little better perspective of the album and like who was all featured on there, all the artists and all the different producers and stuff that was working on it. So, but yeah, that artist you named, they showed him. I was
Lute?
like, I was like,
Man, wish a nigga would like Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
That shit was so fucking, man, he's nice. I, again, never heard of him until this compilation, but...
How were you able to identify who he was?
Going off of Genius.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I listened to it the first time, I don't know anybody except for J. Cole, and I knew the kid, obviously, and I knew my new favorite, Maxo Kream. I knew him. Shout out to Sadistic for introducing me to this motherfucker. This dude is dope.
He's on here? I don't remember him being on there.
Yeah, he's on Oh Well. Is it Oh Well? Is that the name of the song?
Oh Wow.
Oh Wow, sorry.
Oh, he's on Oh Wow?
Yeah.
He's the last verse.
Wow,
He's the last verse, and he snaps, man. Something about it is a pig's pussy pork, or there's a caterpillar fly.
Yeah, that's him.
That's him.
Hell no, that's crazy.
Yeah, those were the only names I recognized.
You don't recognize EarthGang's voices?
Nah, because sometimes
I don't either.
I mean, I like them all.
I don't either.
I do like them all, but sometimes I don't know them well enough to differentiate yet.
Wow, yeah, I think they have very distinct voices.
Oh, they probably do, but I don't know like their names.
Got you.
To associate them with their voices.
Gotcha.
I like EarthGang a lot. But
I was gonna say this is a first for us, not in terms of reviewing a compilation album, but reviewing an album that has so many motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. So I enjoyed it because obviously it's kind of like it's a posse thing. Like, hey, everybody that's affiliated with Dreamville, they got spitters. I think taking like stepping away from it after listening and everything, like I think that's the main thing I took away. It's like, okay, these motherfuckers, they want you to know we ain't fucking around, and we got hella niggas that you ain't even heard of before. You know what I'm saying? So I think that this was a good way to kind of put those people in the forefront. But my biggest question, my other takeaway is how do you manage all of these acts? Right?
I don't think it's a situation where they're just all on Dreamville type of thing. I think it's like they got invited. Kind of like
some people are affiliates,
but a lot of them are signed.
Exactly.
Yeah, so can I go through the on Wikipedia?
Yeah.
So here's the current artists on Dreamville.
Okay.
We obviously know Cole, Omen, Boz, Cozz, Lute, Ari Lennox, J.I.D, and EarthGang.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. That's who we knew though, except Omen. I didn't know Omen was on it. But
or Lute.
Oh yeah, Omen and Lute.
Lennox.
I think they're the newest signees. I think probably. But I'm saying all these other people like DaBaby and like Deontay Hitchcock. Who else they had on here? They had a lot of different people. They had Reason on here. Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. I think it was just like.
No.
I think it was very similar.
His point still stands though.
What
like
you mean?
That's still a lot of people. How do you manage all of these people?
Because already we had questions about how do you manage Cozz, Boz, J.I.D now, EarthGang now, and now it's 3 or 4 new people that we never even heard of until this project. So it's kind of like how do you manage the release of music? How do you manage all of these careers? Because we look at Boz, right? And when I went to the Boz show, I was extremely surprised of how big that crowd was. And then you look at Cozz, and then you look at everybody, and maybe this is a personal thing, but you look at everybody outside of J.I.D and maybe EarthGang now that's gaining a little bit of traction. Who on this label is really being talked about outside of J.Cole?
Ari Lennox. But how many did you count? Like 7 or 8?
8, but
EarthGang is 2 people.
I was gonna say, like, EarthGang is a group.
Yeah.
Is it only 2 people? I thought EarthGang was 3.
No, it's 2.
Jid is
like
kind of like an in and
No,
out.
I know not Jid, but I
Yeah.
thought it was, why I think
No,
it
it's
was
only
3.
No,
I
it's only
still
2.
remember we saw him at A3C.
Maybe I'm thinking of is there like a steady producer? No?
No, I think it's just the 2.
Okay, that's cool. I'm just making it up.
But you was asking like how do you manage all those people? And I'm like that's not that different from TDE. I mean you got like what about 7 people? Isaiah Rashad. Well, actually about 8 because they just the West Side Sir and the other guy. They have about the same amount of people.
It's a bigger talked about name right now. Like everyone knows that TDE is a crew, and I feel like with Dreamville, I think that's why he did this.
Yes, and that's the important.
Well, I'm just talking about the managing side of it. You asking like, how do you manage that many people?
But
They
this
have
is
just
the
as many
start
people.
of that. I think that's the important, kind of going off what Myke said. This is the beginning of that.
Right.
He hasn't up to this point.
Right.
He's at Cozz, Boz. He just signed J.I.D, who popped.
Right.
EarthGang is on there, but people, I mean, they have some buzz.
Yeah.
But J.I.D is the one. He's like their Kendrick.
No, absolutely.
So I think now that he has an artist that is garnering some attention to the label and the other artists, he's trying to take advantage of that.
Right.
And I think he's gonna put himself in the background and start focusing on his roster.
I get that. I'm not disagreeing with that.
But see,
I'm talking about the managing part that it's possible to manage that.
I think TDE has the same problem that Dreamville has. Because again, Sir, no one really knows that much about Sir. Isaiah Rashad comes and goes.
The Skywalker dude.
Yeah, right.
Slant Skywalker.
Right, like they have the same problem. It's just that the difference is, I feel like they're, like you said, J.I.D is Dreamville's version of Kendrick. Well, there's Kendrick who's the original version, and he's huge. So Kendrick is automatically gonna throw shine on a TDE. Whereas where you have J.Cole is huge, but I don't know that people are really going from J.Cole to Dreamville because Dreamville doesn't come off really like a crew.
Right.
It comes off more like a label. TDE comes off like a crew. When you hear Kendrick is talking about Schoolboy. When you see Schoolboy's talking about J-Rock. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different.
So the album, to me, is really, 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 really good. The only drawback that I have from it, it feels like too many motherfuckers. And it was just hard to keep up. It was just like
It's a compilation.
and it is, and that's a small. That's why I have to put it out there. It's a very small break. But who the people that we've been reviewing that be dropping like 3-4 projects a year?
Brockhampton.
Brockhampton. I kind of got a little bit of that. Feels like, okay, who's rapping here? Who's this? Who's that? You know, it was just kind of all over the place, but amazing. Like fucking spitters, man, all through this shit. Another thing I really took away, like, J.I.D is just fucking. He's the guy. Like I'm sorry. Like the more I listen to him, he separates himself, man.
What I like though is I think that everybody else didn't want people to have that same feeling that you're having. Right. And I think that Boz, Cozz, every other motherfucker, man, stepped their game up to rap.
Against good reason.
Shit, that track was one of the best tracks on here.
Yeah, we was talking about Robin Top.
Robin Top, and that was one of the dopest tracks.
How they was going back and forth.
And the fact that they got those two guys was the perfect matchup.
Both from West Coast.
Because they're both having the same issue. Like they have this label that's not dropping their projects.
Yes.
That was a dope ass. That was a really dope track that was like so well thought out. But I didn't feel like it was J.I.D and the rest of them.
I don't either. I mean, J.I.D does stand out, but it don't feel like J.I.D and the rest of them.
Yeah, it does.
I'm talking hella shit. I'm talking hella shit. It's just, you know,
everybody showed up to rap.
No, I get you. J.I.D definitely, when he comes on, it's like, oh, that's J.I.D.
Yeah.
But that's because we're familiar with him now. But I think,
everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. But it definitely doesn't feel like J.I.D and the rest of them. They all stepped up and did their thing.
They did. I'm just talking shit. I'm talking shit because J.I.D is like my favorite guy out of
Exactly.
But you like Boz and you like Cozz. We've actually reviewed Cozz. Have you ever heard them rap like this?
Cozz, yes.
Yeah, Cozz.
I know Cozz can rap. I'm not shitting on what they've done, but I'm just saying this feels different.
No, it does. It does. It definitely feels like how we always be talking about making people step up their game, and everybody came with their A game. You know what I'm saying? Every single feature.
That was the vibe I heard. Like you said, you watched the documentary. B. That was the vibe. Like everybody, it's like you couldn't get on the track if you didn't just like bring it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just had to kind of slide in and try like, dang, I hope I make it. So it's like they had a lot to choose from.
I thought under the first joint started off well with that nice gospel soul sample.
J.Cole snap.
J.Cole. I was like, oh shit, okay, J.Cole. That was a good starter track, and The other guy that was on here, the second person.
Lute, bruh.
Yeah.
Get this motherfucker.
Lute was killing him and DaBaby.
Nah, Baby can flow, man.
Yeah, Baby was flowing.
He can flow.
He was flowing, man. I was like, yo.
Baby, man.
You said what?
I fuck with the Baby.
Yeah, he was flowing, man.
I was surprised that they put him on there though.
I'm not.
You're not?
He's from North Carolina. I can see.
But I don't know.
Oh shit! You know I just connected. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Ding, ding, ding.
I always forget. Yeah, that J.Cole is from Carolina.
Yeah.
I always forget that.
That makes sense.
Wow, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, DaBaby as an artist, like, is he considered a spitter though?
No.
Don't matter.
Right?
He's
So,
but he's
but
showing.
no. I
J.
agree.
Cole probably knows he's a spitter.
Exactly.
But other people might not know. So he's like, show these motherfuckers what you can do. And
Yeah.
DaBaby did.
And he's the hottest thing. He's like one of the hottest artists out right now. And you need diversity. I think on some of these tracks, like you had some of those trappy, Southern Atlanta sounding like artists and songs on here. And I think, you know, you kind of need that. You need that roster, that type of artist on your roster. And I don't know if any of them really signed to him like that, but I think it helps balance the project.
No, it did. It was just a little surprising to see him
Like
on
Costa
there.
Rica.
That was
shit
amazing.
When Jen said that shit about the girl at the airport talking about he looks like Sway Lee. Look it up.
That's funny.
They look like twins.
No, and what's crazy is that I was just talking to one of my best friends in Florida. He was saying that too. He hadn't heard this yet.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's that dude that look like Sway Lee.
Man, he looks exactly like Sway Lee. He looks exactly like Sway Lee.
He does.
Fucking hilarious. That track is nice.
Yeah, Costa Rica
real
was,
nice.
Yeah, Costa Rica was definitely. I feel like, hey, I pull a mic on this one. I think if we would have reviewed this like maybe 3 days earlier or 4 days earlier, I'd have been like, man. But like, the more I listened to it and the more I kind of took my mind into this is a compilation mode. This is compilation mode. I think I'm still. I had a different.
I think I still kind of am like, man. Like I do appreciate the verses and how everybody brought it, but it's something about it that's still like disconnected.
And I don't know if watching the documentary was like a cheat code.
Production.
Yes, I was gonna say that.
That's the only problem with this. I'm gonna cut you
No,
off.
you
I'm
good.
finished?
We're good. Yeah. I was just saying, like, I'm glad we reviewed this now than like earlier, because I would have had like a little negative review.
And I'm not negative, but it's still something that's.
It's still moments where it's like, but it's some really good moments. It's some shining verses,
sure.
good moments in here.
For sure. But yeah, production. You said.
Yeah, that was my only issue with this. Is I feel like every single person walked in the room and said, "I'm gonna rap my ass off. I'm gonna try to outshine the other person," and it was just some healthy competition.
With the production,
the problem with this is the production towards the middle fell off. For me. It got way too mellow, and it didn't match the intensity of the rappers. That was my only issue with this.
Yeah.
I feel like, as much as I, part of it's jokes, but as much as I talk shit about J. Cole. He's a great rapper. He's a fucking great rapper. And part of my issue when I was listening to this, I realized that my issue with J. Cole is when you give him better production, he raps different. When you give him this kind of like mellow-ish production, I feel like J. Cole doesn't capture me. But on like the first track, the first couple tracks, that type of production, I think that is J. Cole's wheelhouse. When you give him those beats, he's gonna spaz.
And I want to say we said that.
Bad he rapped his ass off. But I think that certain production gets him excited. But towards the middle of this, I think like around like track 7 or 8, it just
Wells Fargo Sleep Deprived.
it just got too mellow, and then the beats got too
crazy
crazy.
though.
Yeah, Wells Fargo was dope. I think it's probably more like self-love.
But no, it's not even about the production being dope or bad. The beats were all great. The problem is, towards the middle, it got to be a bit too mellow. And I think that's what kind of pulls away from the project being exciting for me. And, I mean, I don't know if that's what Rod was referring to or not, but that's what I got.
No, for sure.
Because it picks back up with Costa Rica.
Yes.
Absolutely. And then 1993, like that was a track because that beat sounded different from pretty much everything else on here. I was like, oh, okay, there we go. And that was track 12. And they kind of brought back the energy to the album.
Costa Rica, Costa Rica 1993 definitely brought the energy back.
So Myke, so on a compilation like this, typically we want like a roller coaster or some variance in production. do you think that like on a compilation that it should have just been like no mellow beats at all? Should have just been all hard shit?
I just think that, and again, I don't want to sound like I know more than J. Cole being the executive producer and no shit like that. It's just when I listen to a compilation, I don't want to be super hype at the beginning and then for like 3 or 4 tracks in the middle just be like, all right, this is just super mellow. And then it just not pick up until later on the album. It's like, I feel like the sequencing on this could have been a little bit better. And again, that's the only real issue I have with this. Otherwise, I mean, and it was a little bit too long. It was a bit too long.
A lot of people.
And it didn't end well. Like, I don't think that the closing track was a very good closing track.
I feel like J. Cole should have saved that verse for like his album or something like that. Like, 'cause it was very personal. I feel like, in my opinion, him talking about him having another son and everything, another child.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm like, this is a closer. But you know, it's a compilation. If he want to put that on there to shine some light, that's fine. But I feel like that last track should have been a J. Cole album.
But I think when I think of a compilation, I think of a showcase, right? And you want to showcase your artist and their style and their talent. And it felt like that they tried to make this an album. And that's why you have like this consistency in sound, like, and it didn't like, there wasn't enough diversity like that we kind of talking about in terms of production. Everybody rapped really, really well, but you know, who are the artists individually? We know Boz, I've listened to his stuff, we reviewed it. Cozz, you and I reviewed it. We've done J.I.D. You know, Ari Lennox is new on the scene, but on here, like, based on what we've heard from some of their other albums, like some of these songs don't sound like stuff that they would do on their album. It sounded like they kind of got together and just put out this joint project. So, yeah, I think that's where kind of the flaws are with me. Like J. Cole though, I gotta say, like, and I think kind of going back to maybe what you were saying, like the production that he was rapping on here compared to his stuff was so different that it forced him to rap different.
I mean, he does well for himself doing what he does, but I feel like
not like this though.
But I think that his fans will argue that. I think his fans don't agree, which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, for me personally, and like you're saying, for you personally, and for you, I can't speak for you, that if he just rapped over different production, maybe it would just be a little bit more entertaining or interesting or exciting.
Yes.
J. Cole just seems to fall into a pocket very easily. But giving him a different type of beat, like I think J. Cole sounds too perfect over his own beats. So it just doesn't really get exciting.
It's not a challenge. Right?
Exactly,
like,
there you go. Yeah.
And hearing you speak, all I hear is Freddie and Madlib. Where like Madlib pulls him in, it challenges Freddie to go over the top.
J. Cole needs more of a challenge.
J. Cole needs more of a challenge when it comes to production.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, no, I agree because I have the same gripe with Crit too now. Like, because Crit produces 70% of his own shit, and it's just getting to a point where it's like you need different challenges. It's too easy. You're too in the pocket with your own shit, and J. Cole does fall into that. And on this, you know, and I think not only the production, I just think that because everybody else brought like A+ game or A- game, just everybody's in the A category on this, is that forces you too, because you're the head honcho.
Right.
Can you get got once or twice? Of course. But you gotta bring that shit, because it says Dreamville and J. Cole. So your name is singular, so you
know the caliber of artists that you're
Of course.
I was surprised by J. Cole, and it actually made me want to go back and revisit some of his other albums. I may just end up being disappointed again, but the way he rapped on here was actually exciting. And I was looking at myself like, damn, have I just been being like a worthless hater? No, I was definitely too hard on J. Cole, even though I think it's kind of jokes, but regardless, I was definitely too hard on J. Cole. But I do kind of want to go back and revisit his shit, because I really like the way he was rapping on here, and I don't remember hearing that type of rapping on his project.
All three of y'all right here. All three of y'all right here have been
I was
sleep.
on him early.
No, you was, but then you fell off.
You
fell off, and I was the one that wasn't on him early, and then I jumped on the bad white man. To me, J. Cole. Now this is, it feels like a different level. I'm not even going front, but since Your Eyes Only, is that the one? Like, and also Forest Hills Drive, he been killing it for me. So I wasn't surprised. Like I really wasn't surprised. Like this didn't shock me. This wasn't like, oh my God, where'd J. Cole? Nah, I'm like, okay, this was what was expected. Especially when you see it's a compilation of everybody. Like I like, this is what the expectation.
I won't say it shocked me. I would say it was refreshing. to hear him rap like this compared to what he's done before.
I don't remember him rapping like this on KOD.
Well, KOD was different from some of the other projects though, the earlier projects like the Forest Hill Drives and stuff.
But I still don't remember him rapping like this. But maybe I need to go back. I'm gonna go back.
But you can agree that you do know that J. Cole is a talented rapper though.
I say all the time.
Yeah.
I say all the time. I think that I should probably stop it. People take it too seriously because I do jokes about like Drake and shit. And people have figured it out now that I'm just kind of trolling a little bit. With J. Cole, I definitely think it's a little bit different. When I look at Drake, I'm like, I don't see it.
Right.
When I look at J. Cole, I definitely think the motherfucker's a spitter. I don't think he's some half-ass mediocre rapper.
Right.
My problem with his projects is I always tend to find them a little bit dull because I think the production doesn't bring out what I would like to hear with J. Cole. This is just a personal thing. Yeah. But when I hear production like this, who clearly he didn't do, I think that it just brings out a different monster in J. Cole. That's all.
But I guess that's what Feefo is saying about like it not being surprising or whatever, because it's like he's talented. He needs a different type of inspiration to bring it out.
But I didn't even know that he wasn't going to produce none of the beats. I didn't know anything about this compilation.
Yeah.
Really. So I walked in thinking, okay, here we go with another. This is going to be another fairly meh J. Cole project. I've never said his projects are whack ever. I've always just said I find them to be dull. When I walk away from a J. Cole project, I feel very meh.
Right.
And if he wasn't a great rapper, I wouldn't feel that way.
Right.
If he was a whack rapper, I'd be like,
just
okay,
all this shit
here
is
we
whack.
go.
Exactly.
That's what I expect. Yeah. You know, with Drake, I expect it to be, I don't want to say whack, but I expect it to be a little dry. With J. Cole projects, I expect a very good rapper that's going to be rapping over beats that don't interest me. And that's what I usually get. I did not get that this time, except towards the middle a little bit. But if he did this with that kind of production more often, personally, I would be a lot more interested in J. Cole. He's definitely a spitter. He's definitely a upper caliber, upper echelon spitter.
He's top tier.
I wanted to ask you, so I know we're kind of criticizing the production a little bit. Well, who all produced on this thing? Do you know?
I just know it was so many different. It was so many different people. I lost track. I lost track.
It's a lot.
I lost track. It was so many different ones.
People I never heard of too.
Yeah, that's nobody really.
That was a good thing about it from watching the documentary. It was cats that was rolling in there that was like, oh man, this is my chance,
to shine.
Yeah,
that's cool.
There was a couple of them. There's a couple of them that I knew that got the invite. They didn't show them on the documentary, but it was some producers I knew that got that golden ticket, but I didn't see them. But yeah, he was inviting a whole bunch of dope producers. Like I said, I didn't know. I lost track once I saw so many different.
What you guys think of the Rembrandt track with Vince
Amazing.
Staples?
Oh man,
A fucking man.
It's that Dreamville shit, right? Like, yeah, man. He was funny in that documentary too, man. He was like, man, have I ever let you down? Trust me.
It was that dude.
No, he is that dude.
I know.
Killing 1,000 black people. Like just the way he sounded on this shit was so dope.
He's just funny as hell to me.
He is.
Did y'all peep on that Swerve joint? How when Jid started rapping, his shit just faded out. His verse just
I was like he was still going.
Yeah, he was still going.
He was. And J. Cole was like, all right.
I was like,
They
damn.
pulled a rod on
I was just about to say that.
You saw that? Did you see that shit?
He warned you. J. Cole probably warned you. Like, look, man, this song is 4.5 minutes.
Right.
We ain't got all day, Jid. Okay?
Engineer, hey, fade that nigga out.
Yeah. J. Cole would twist his dreads like, bro, I done fucking warned you, dog. Man, cut your shit off.
He came on killing that shit, and it just faded. I was like,
I thought
I thought something was wrong with my shit.
I knew exactly what was going on.
Yep.
They've done that before.
That's throwback
obviously,
too.
but yeah,
Other people's done that.
That was hilarious. I think all of these tracks by themselves are dope tracks.
Jid and T.I., ladies.
Oh, you know, I'm glad you brought that up. That was the only track I didn't really care for.
Oh.
That was the only
Really?
track.
You don't like Ladies,
It had
Ladies,
nothing to do with you got another one?
Yep.
I didn't care for Ladies because I felt like it was a bit too mellow. When I saw I almost said G.I. When I saw T.I. and Jid, I was like, here we go. Here we go. We bringing back that fucking flowing T.I. It didn't.
I thought he still flowed, but it's just it's the beat again for me.
You know what my problem was with this one? And this is really weird, but I had just got done to listening to Killer Mike's rap music, which I still think that T.I. had the guest verse of the album on that shit.
Oh.
Easily.
Yes.
Easily.
Yes.
Since one of the albums, I'm repping this Atlanta shit. Nigga try to handle us. Let's get it handle this 100 rounds. No Louisiana shit. Man. Cranking on the Hennessy, blowing on the cannabis. America's nightmare. Trap nigga fantasy. T.I. fucking snapped on that song. And just the weird thing is, literally, right after I heard that album, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and sit down with this.
Yes.
So in my head, when I saw T.I., I was like, oh, we about to get that Killer Mike T.I. And the verse wasn't bad.
Yeah,
it really wasn't.
Why this mellow? Why
is this mellow beat for T.I.?
T.I. and J.I.D. You want to oh my God.
Yes.
It was such a good moment, man.
Like you said, a good Atlanta moment, man. It was a great Atlanta moment.
Yeah, it was
but J.I.D. even said at the beginning of the song, he said, I've always wanted to do one of these shits.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I was like, oh, wait. No, they're not gonna spaz.
It was kind of like an ode to girls.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
but it was a missed opportunity. They should have went like with a harder beat.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
That would have been nice.
Hopefully, this is not the only time that they collaborate.
Oh, it can't be.
No,
it can't be. I need Spaz and T.I. and Spaz and J.Cole.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
What was the other one that you had?
I wasn't rocking with Got Me.
Oh.
The Ty Dolla joint?
Yep.
I think that was the one he was on. I was like, And I think that was the Ari Lennox showcase. I think that was for her.
Self-love. That was
but
her.
I was like,
I agree. Yeah.
I wasn't.
You was looking at Wiki. Did you see any of the producers that produced on this thing? I'm just curious.
Oh yeah.
What do you got?
It's a lot. Christo, Plus, Nice Wreck, Kal Banx, Mees. Bink got a track he did, Swivel B.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah, Hollywood JB, Business Boy. And then it's like 3 or 4 producers on one track.
Interesting.
Galamatias or something like that. Nostalgic. E-Dan.
Wow.
Wait, Eden? Wait, E-D-A-N?
Yeah, E.D.A.N.
That's
period.
probably different Eden. Okay, never mind.
Sleep Deprived has like 6 or 7 different producers.
Yeah, like I said, so many.
Yeah, man.
Lost in the shuffle. I forgot.
Got you,
It was good to hear King Mez again rapping. Like I was like, man, I haven't heard.
Oh, so that was Mez?
Yeah, that was
okay,
Mez.
He just went by Mez, and I was like, okay.
No,
I don't know. He didn't sound like as raspy as he used to.
But he was still.
No. He killed, but
it was good to hear him again. I was
No,
like, damn,
of course.
man.
Yeah. I thought it was him, but I didn't 100% know it was him.
I got you.
Cause he sounded a little different. I used to be huge on King Mez. I thought he was gonna blow.
It's a good project,
Yeah,
man.
it's a good project.
It's a good project.
So everybody think it's good?
Yeah.
Like first listen or just
No,
like
remember I said.
Damn.
Wait. Okay, I'm gonna get to you.
No, he said. Remember I said when I first started talking, I said I'm glad we didn't review this 3 or 4 days earlier because at first it would have been a little negative
Gotcha.
for me if we reviewed it 3 days ago.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Ken, you said hell no.
That was a little rough.
Yeah.
That was a little rough.
Really?
That was a little rough. I think what it was it started out great, and then like that middle piece, like it was just like,
Kind of with Myke,
yeah, and then it didn't like I said, 1993. I was like, all right, here we go, and then then Middle Child, we've already heard that, so PTSD and Sacrifices. So yeah, and I wasn't a fan of that. I mean, I get it, but it just
I liked it on the album.
It felt out of place.
I did. I liked it on the album.
Too.
You did too?
I did. I don't know. It fit better.
It fit better, right?
It's not a Lucy song.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
It felt like a Lucy song.
Huh?
Yeah,
It felt better on this.
It did. It really did. When it came on, it was like, oh shit.
I didn't get that feeling. When we were going to the Sadistic, I was on my way to the Sadistic show, and I was listening to it because it's an hour and something minute, an hour and 5 minutes. So I was like, all right, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. I had to break it up, and like right when I get to that middle section, I'm like, man, I'm just not feeling it. And I like it was like my second or third listen. I was like, I don't want to listen to this anymore. That's the feeling I got. It didn't really hit me until yesterday. I was at home and I got in the shower and I was listening to it and I was like, oh, I kind of get it now. And I started thinking about Cozz and Cozz and the roster of artists and J.I.D and how everybody was kind of brought up, and had to perform at a peak level for this album. I was like, oh, okay, it's not as bad, or that feeling kind kind of went away that I initially had.
I first started listening to this when I was flying to Puerto Rico. After like the first 2 or 3 tracks, it felt like it was tedious. It was just it's a lot of people, and I was like, man, let me just go back to this Freddie and Madlib. And I literally had to kind of stop listening to everything else to just focus on this because there was just so much going on. So it did feel a bit tasky. But once I kind of got through it the first time, it became easier, and then I started to try to pick out the people and all of the hard lines. So like I had to fall into it. But it's not something that I think that you could just pick up and be like, oh. I think you definitely have to be in the mood for some spitting.
And I think as a compilation, I think individually, because I was trying to think of it individually, like how do the songs perform, solo? And I think they do sound good, and I think as a shuffle, like if you would just shuffle your playlist, it will fall in line, and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so, it don't feel like there's no real order to the madness on
right, and as a compilation, you don't typically
want that.
Get that right.
Give me Under the Sun, Down Bad. Give me Lambo Truck. Give me Costa Rica, and give me Rembrandt.
That's literally the same shit as Feefo.
That's
dude.
weird.
Swear to God, Under the Sun, Down Bad, Lambo Truck, the same shit. Costa Rica, same shit, like the same exact shit. That was actually the ones I was picking.
I'm gonna say Under the Sun, Down Bad, Lambo Truck. I got to have Oh Wow. Damn, is that 4? Fuck. Wells Fargo, Costa Rica.
Cut that shit, nigga. You ain't gonna beat on me. So why you looked up like that?
I got Under the Sun, Down Bad, Lambo Truck, Oh Wow, and Rembrandt.
If the Dreamers are watching.
The Dreamers. The Dreamers and J.Cole, if y'all watching.
Y'all could give us a ticket, goddamn.
But man, if y'all watching, I think that this was a really good way to kind of showcase, like Ken said, all of the talent that you guys have. I'm ingrained in hip hop, and I didn't know that you guys had all of these extra people. So again, I think this is a great way to kind of expose that. Everybody brought it, man. Everybody brought it. I don't know how many more of these that you guys are gonna do, but you guys have definitely one of the most talented rosters out there. So I'm looking forward to everybody's future individual or collaborative projects and all of that. I think that this was a really good project. Shit, if y'all can continue to drop this and continue to add more talent onto the roster, I really don't see who has a bigger collection of talent than y'all. So props.
Yes, Dreamers. That's what you call them, right? Dreamers.
That's what I said. I don't know if they call themselves the Dreamers. I thought it was.
But anyway, the label. Hey, label Dreamville. If y'all watching, any of y'all watching, solid job on this compilation, man. Like I watching the documentary first and then listening to this kind of definitely helped. Just to see that, it's all about fun. It's fun, and y'all kept it competitive at the same time. It's like, this is a fun atmosphere, but guess what? You come here, who's gonna make the best beats? Who's gonna have the best verses? Who's gonna do, so that was kind of cool to see that in fruition and then listen to the album as well and see all the different artists, that's come through, all the different celebrities that came through. It just it was a good fun environment. Y'all definitely showed in the music, man. Like y'all had fun, and y'all created some good stuff out of here. So good job.
Dreamville, if you're watching, J.Cole, J.I.D, whoever. I love that competition that it feels like that you guys had at the studio. And everybody showed up to work, and they worked their ass off, and I can appreciate that. I feel like this also could be a pivotal moment for Dreamville as a label and as a roster, because this is definitely a reintroduction to you guys.
Dreamers, if you're watching, this is great. This gave us that old feeling of crew mixtapes. I enjoyed this, man. I enjoyed everybody that came in that room to rap. I enjoyed it. So I ain't really got nothing else to say. Good job. I'm gonna go back and check out 1 and 2 because we clearly missed those. Yeah. And if they're anything like this, I feel like I'm gonna enjoy those too. So yeah, y'all did your thing.